You're all I ever wanted. You're all I ever needed, yeah. So tell me what to do now, 'cause
Let's take it back.
Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Hunter Loves Voice Play podcast. A lot of you suggested that I continue on the boy band train after Sleeping in the Cold Below, Party of Your Lifetime. So, as Jeff says in this song, let's take it back. Back to the 90s, late 80s boy bands and voice play 5 years ago, on my birthday. So that was, to put a date on it, June 14th, 2019. 2019. That just sounds weird when I say 2000. That was like kind of a thing back in school where it was like, no, you can't say the 2000 and you gotta go 2019. And it's like, well, okay, whatever. Little side note for you, but anyway. I'm gonna sip my coffee and we're gonna get right into this. There we go. I wasn't paying attention enough to realize that they had released this video on that date, but I was still in my baby days of voice play, so that's gonna be my excuse. Alright, well, let's take it back with Voice Play's medley of our favorite boy band hits, boy bands in 5 minutes. So upon clicking on the video, we're instantly transported into NSYNC's I Want You Back for a few seconds, and then we transition into Jackson 5's I Want You Back, which is quite hilarious to me, you know, using two songs that have the same title but are like completely, like from completely different eras. So, you know, that's fun. And not to mention the wink that Lane gives us at the beginning, and Jeff's I need you so bad, baby, dramatic 90s pose. This video is all the fun and all the laughs, and the choreography is something else. I'm just gonna say that. I mean, it's great. Don't get me started on the outfits. Jeff and Kathy, you did great. From the tassel-y Jackson 5 slightly hippie outfits to the more recent BTS K-pop aluminum foil, we get a different outfit for each song. And damn it, the shoes are friggin' amazing. Color-changing bottoms, sweet. So where does one start with talking about a medley? Ugh, I feel this video is gonna go on forever. Oh boy, so strap in. Here we go. We're starting off with Jackson 5's I Want You Back. I'm gonna make this a little bit interactive here, a bit. Okay, so I have the video in front of me right now, and I'm instantly laughing at how Lane is backwards. Jeff looks at him like, bro, fix yourself. And then Lane turns around. Not to mention this video was with Earl and Jay Nunn, two people we miss dearly. I mean, Jay has been back multiple times, but, you know, with Earl, I don't know, and I'm not at the discrepancy to say why. You know, it's just, it is what it is, and, yeah. It's a private thing, and I can respect that. Anyway, so this video does date our boys a little bit, you know, well, I mean, 2019. You think about it, it's like, that's a long time ago by this standpoint, but all the fun nonetheless. Moving on to the Beatles, I Want to Hold Your Hand. Ellie takes the lead on this part as Paul McCartney. And Earl and Jay's dancing, they get significantly worse as time goes on. Just saying. Lane is Ringo, which I would have laughed harder if they gave him tinted glasses. Like, you know, just, I can picture it. Like, there are so many things that it's like, I think, like, once you look at it and then you look back at it now, you're like, oh, I probably could have put that in there or whatever. But it's still, they did great. But having him sit down and air drum was just as entertaining as Jeff's air bass. Jeff air basses all the time. He just, it's like it's a never ending thing with him sometimes. And it's like, even when you're not paying attention, you're just like, Jeff, you're air bassing again. I love it. Don't stop. So he would be Lennon, I would suppose. You know, given that Jeff did do a cover of Imagine by John Lennon. Should go look that up. It's a pretty sweet tune. It's underperforming, which is very, very sad to me, because it's beautiful and gorgeous, just like him. Anyway, little The Pasta Queen quoting for you. You should check her out too. Anyway, But these 5 men in suits? Yes, please. This video has everything. Even the microphone stands are in different styles for the era, which is very good attention to detail. I love when I can see good attention to detail. And like those little minuscule details, I'm just like, oh yes. I'm like, that's great. Like it's well done, boys. Well done. So now we're into The Temptations, Ain't Too Proud to Beg. Jay is the lead in this section, and he adds such flavor and sass to the piece. And as much as I like to focus on Jay, I get distracted by the dancing in the background. It's just such a hoot. This one kind of reminds me of Butter, because there's just so much happening, and you just can't focus on one thing at a time, and that's where multiple viewings just come in handy, because then you can focus on like specific things at a specific time. Like, Jay's all by himself and then realizes everybody left him and he has to call them back, and it's like, oops, sorry bro, but the song is done anyways. Like, you know, it's like, we're not coming back. And next, we got Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, Walk Like a Man. Before I get into Walk Like a Man, I get reminded of a day at work where I had just been listening to this medley, and one of my past coworkers said to me, and I quote, "Hunter, you walk like a man. Any reason why?" And I was thinking, I'm like, well, why would they necessarily say that? Because I guess when people see me walk, I just have kind of that more masculine type of stature, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I've never noticed that before. But you know, if other people are noticing, you're welcome. But then I waited for a moment. I processed her question. Well, and then I said to her, my own father always said that the world's not coming to an end, so he said, walk like a man. They were totally confused with what I was referring to, but I had a silent giggle to myself. Moving on from my confusing humor. Anyways, Earl is the lead on this part, and the single ladies choreography is hilarious. Jeff just looks so confused and uncomfortable with it. Like, it's just... he's just like, I don't know what I'm doing. But anyway. Followed by the backstroke, then all of them falling over due to stretching too far. Jeff fell so gracefully with like a, oh god, my back. Whereas if you catch Lane, he just crashes to the floor. Oh my god. Ellie only goes so far and places his hands over his leg like he's doing a lunge, as if to say like, I can only go so far. This is a short person problem. Anyway. I mean, that might not be true, because I've seen people that are shorter than me, and they can stretch no problem. So it's just genetics. I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but anyway. I also love the fact that they incorporated all of their spouses into this piece for the "you should see the size of his wallet" trope. We had Nick, Kathy, Ashley, and Cindy, which was a cute little add-in, and they all look so good. Including the guys. Voice play in suits. What could be better? Don't answer that. Now we're moving on to New Edition Belle Biv DeVoe with Candy Girl and Poison. This part is short, but voice play in fedoras? Yes, please. We need more of that. And Lane, why you be wearing your hat backwards? You had one job. Or it could just be me. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that was a conscious choice that he was going to wear his backwards. Or it's just his head is big enough that it fits into the fedora a little bit better. I don't know. Or it could just be me. And the transition through the hat to them being Belle Biv is flawless. The dancing is so worth watching. Jeff is just a master at it. Like, he is going for it. Jay is right there with him. Like, you know, their rhythm is perfect. Ellie and Lane, it's like, you know, they're doing their best. Earl, oh my god. Sorry, man, but why do you look like you were dancing on ice? He was just so off rhythm and stiff looking. Don't know if it was for comedic effect, but my belly hurts each time I watch him in this section, and it's just like, oh my god. So if it was for that reason, then you did it, you made me laugh. But you know, it's okay, I dance like that too. And dang it, I need those shoes. I'd never wear them, but they'd be friggin' sweet. Like, I would just put them in my closet, and then I would just walk away. Okay, we're moving on to New Kids on the Block, The Right Stuff. Honest confession, I was a Backstreet Boys fan rather than New Kids on the Block. And I just realized that I spelt on wrong when I wrote this. I spelt on as O, so that's interesting. You know, me being a Backstreet Boys fan other than New Kids on the Block is fine. Jeff's a huge JC Chavez fan from NSYNC. And the dancing in this piece is so perfect. It's so funny. To be honest, most of the dancing within each segment is funny. And, you know, that's Voice Play's style. They just, like, other than they rehearsed it to death, it's like they always just want to, you know, like, up the ante a little bit. But, you know, it's all for fun. And I had never listened to a lot of New Kids on the Block. I'm not going to lie. I probably only know, like, 2 songs from them, if that. So it's a very short segment, so I can't really say much about it. Moving on to Boys to Men, Thank You. 5 dudes on hard times gathered around a garbage can, hoping for a better future. And something to do with a sandwich. Am I reading this right? Of course, there was a cameo from a dear, dear friend of Voice Play, Rick Dunn, who unfortunately passed away during the COVID-19 pandemic. He was a graphic designer for the group and was a great guy and one hell of a Halo player. Seeing him in these videos makes me just a little bit sad on the inside now, but anyways, the laughs are still there even if I watch this in a different light. And speaking of Boys to Men, remember the sing-off days? Remember the good old days of awful Leatherman jackets and terrible plaid and leather mix, Green Day, something. Ugh. I mean, I don't know what the wardrobe department was thinking when they dressed our guys in those horrendous outfits. I can't go back to that place. I'm triggered. Anyway, but one of the judges from Boys to Men, Sean, was a judge on the sing-off, along with Nicole Scherzinger, Jewel, Ben Folds. I mean, come on. Ben Folds, guy's a legend, right? Who is Ben Folds? Shut up. Just look him up. He's great. He's fantastic. But yeah, like, even as far as the sing-off is concerned, I had only heard about it, like, probably after I had knew who Voice Play was and understood what they were about. Then I went back into the sing-off, and I'm like, ugh. Just, ugh. Why? But everybody's got to start somewhere, you know? But, I mean, it did it. It got them a little bit more attention. But, of course, you know, the network sucks. It got them recognized, but, you know, YouTube was the big thing, so that was Lane's idea, that was Lane's brain baby, so, you know, he did well, and now he's, you know, they're doing great for themselves, they're doing great. Now we're on to 98 Degrees, The Hardest Thing. Pro tip, just watch Lane here, just do it, that's all I can say, just focus on Lane, that's it. I'll give you guys a moment as I sip my coffee. That is the most dramatic removal of a dickie that I've ever seen in my life. And it was an honest mistake. Like, he was just the last person just to rip it off because I think he had forgotten that he was still wearing it. And then it just... And it's like... And quite honestly, I would love to hear Jay do a full cover of that song. It's so pretty. But of course, like, I think deep down in my soul, I think Jay just could copy, like, just could do a cover of anything and it would sound great. And Earl being so heartbroken, you know, just the drama, just Earl dropping to his knees, just, you know, his heart is shattering type of thing. Like, it's just pure 90s, you know, like, nothing speaks the 90s more than just really heavy emo action, especially for 90s boy bands, but, you know, drama looks good on them, I'm just gonna say. And then we get to Backstreet Boys, I Want It That Way. The transition that from 98 Degrees to BSB is perfect. It's like, we're just gonna have Jeff walk in front of the camera and then cut to him having absolutely no sleeves. And they're all in white outfits, which is, an homage to the Backstreet Boys video. And I love that because even though they had added in the actual dance from the video, it just kills me. It's so awesome. I wonder who I was watching throughout this one. Jeff. No sleeves. Do I need to say more? No. Then we get into NSYNC's Pop. Need a little in your step, as JT would say. I think this was Jeff's favorite because he got his 2 seconds of JC moment. If you're listening to this one with headphones, which you should be with anything from voice play, just FYI, pro tip. I love the panning between Jeff and Lane's falsettos on the words, dare I say them, dirty pop. And then the sequence is bubble wrap, chewing gum romance, Lady and the Tramp, bubbles, balloons, drinking sodies, topped up with an excellent editing transition on This Must Be Pop. And I keep getting distracted by those shoes. It's just, I want them so much. They're just so awesome. Like, it's great. Yeah, I'm just trying to think about, I keep thinking about this video and there's so much that is happening and it's great. Like, you just have to watch it so many more times. Just wardrobe's great. Choreography is fantastic. How long have I been doing this? Oh my god, almost 17 minutes. I definitely didn't do this medley in 5 minutes. Hell no. Now we're getting into One Direction Best Song Ever. I was not a big fan of One Direction. I heard What Makes You Beautiful. I listened a little bit to their stuff, but I was never, huge. And of course, such a shame with Liam Payne. It's so heartbreaking. I've said it once and I'll say it again. The dancing is perfect. I'm guessing that this was actually based off of an actual dance with the original video. I have no idea. I haven't watched the original video. But the transition to what I call slimy fish to Jeff's flossing is hilarious. You just have to watch this video over and over to appreciate all the dancing. You just have to. And finally, BTS Fake Love. Okay. So we know that Ellie can speak Japanese. But Korean? Dude. He's full of surprises. And he did it perfectly. And the choreography in this one is fantastic. Sharp, flawless movement and all of that, full of that Korean pop drama. Coffee burp. Honest confession, I did have to look up the actual video for this section because I was just not familiar with it at all, or what they were referencing. I'm gonna call Jeff the K-pop zebra, just because, you see him in a zebra type shirt. And I'm really starting to wonder if he's retired those ripped red-black jeans. I think they're called the watermelon jeans. I think that's what we had named them, because they show up everywhere. Seriously, everywhere. Like, you look at every other video and you're like, oh my god, there are those jeans again. And then you look at the other video and you're like, oh my god, they're right there again. Like, it's just, they follow us everywhere. And Ellie ends it on a high note. But of course, it's like a mix of everybody's voices together. But Ellie does his best, what I call Brian McKnight run. Seriously, the amount of times I played that over and over was Sigh. And if you're not familiar with who Brian McKnight is, there was I think it was an SNL sketch or some sort of sketch that Wayne Brady did with Justin Timberlake and Brian McKnight. And they improvised a song about a lady that was in the audience and her name was Anne. And I mean, Wayne Brady, right? Like, he's just such a great comedian and his improvisation skill is just terrific. But then Brian McKnight at the end, he does this like run at the end. I I keep getting my riffs and my runs mixed up, and I'm like, anyway. But that's what I would compare it to. Just like of what it sounds like, just of like of how it flows. It's the same way as Brian McKnight would do it. So it's great. Are we at the end? Gosh, this feels like this has gone on forever. Note to self, do not do medleys moving forward, or think of another way of doing it. We made it, and if you are still listening, I appreciate you for it. This is the second time that I've had to record this, because the first one, I was listening to the sound, and I kept moving, because the way that I have myself situated, I'm on a chair that's on my floor, and I, like, literally have to bend myself over and just, like, swallow my microphone in order for it to pick up anything. So, there you go. And then when I edited the thing and I put it through the audio thing and like I boosted up I amplified the sound, but it didn't do anything because it still was like, I'd be here and then the next session I would be here. And then it would sound like I was talking a lot louder than I would have to be. So that was the thing. Hopefully, this will be shorter in the editing process. I doubt it, but we'll see. Thank you guys so much for watching, listening, and as always, I'll see you in the next episode. Don't forget to subscribe, give this a like, give me a comment, even if it's, to say that my voice sounds like a rusty hinge. Nah, I'm kidding. Anyway, see you guys next time. Bye.